Welcome to another episode of Tech Lounge, a podcast where we discuss the ever-changing world of technology.
Right.
And now your host, Dan Duran.
Okay, check. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Are we live or not? I think we are. All right, we're live. Hey, hello, everybody. My name is Dan Duran, and I'm the host of the Tech Lounge. Here, we discuss topics related to business, leadership, technology, and cybersecurity, and a few other things, web development, a lot of stuff. Welcome to the show, episode 14, Staff Augmentation 101.
Nice.
Get the DevOps expertise that you need in your business. And just remember, we stream live on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube every Friday at 12 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're also on podcasts, including Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, Amazon Music, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, and Podbean. So please make sure you follow us using the hashtag Dan Duran and watch us live every Friday. Now, sit back and relax. This is the Tech Lounge. All right. We have a great show for you today, and we're also unveiling a new service offering. So stay tuned until the very end to hear what it is. And probably you're going to guess what it is, but stay. We love you. We want you to stay until the end. So today in our virtual studio, we have our great guest, of course, Gladstone Nyamasepor, Senior PM at BeWire, also known as G Money.
Hey guys, what's up?
Hello,
Dan.
G Money.
What's up, Dan? Listen,
Hey, Gladstone.
hey Andrew, how are you? Listen,
buddy.
funny story. I was watching Game of Thrones the other day, and I like the way they introduce all the nobility on the show. So I was thinking, your intro was okay, but I was wondering if perhaps we could do something a little bit better. So this is what I was thinking. Perhaps introduce me as Gladstone Nyamasepor, first and only of his name, because if you find anybody with that name, I'll pay you money. So first and only of his name, Warden of BeWired, and Defender of my apartment.
Whoa, nice.
All right. What do you think of that? So the next time I'm here, I would appreciate
That's what it has to
that-
be.
that intro.
I'm taking notes right away, man, right away. Thank you very much.
You're
And of
welcome.
course, we have in the house the man himself, the superstar, my co-host,
Hey,
Andrew Summerton, CEO of BeWire Technologies and Rhyno Cybersecurity.
forget.
Hey, Andrew, superhero
name.
nobility, Lord Summerton.
Lord Summerton.
There you go. Hey, Dan, great to be here, buddy. Really, really happy that everybody's joining us today. Really exciting topic. And Gladstone, I love the new intro, so I'm looking forward to hearing that next time.
Maybe
And by the way, I love that movie, that's the show Game of Thrones.
talking about the Game of Thrones. Maybe you can tell people why we call you Lord Summerton,
Yes.
because you're a lord, right?
I am.
In
I
paper.
am. I am actually on paper, and it's funny because I'm sure many people are watching this have seen it on either social media feeds. But my son and my daughter-in-law bought myself and my wife a plot of land in Scotland. Yeah, if you own land in Scotland, you're considered a lord. So it was my Christmas gift last year. So now I'm officially a lord based on this purchase or this gift that we received last
Awesome.
year. So
So
yeah.
are you going to be building a structure on that 1 square
I was
foot?
Castle.
I was thinking about building a little castle on
With
it.
a moat.
Absolutely, it's the only thing I have to do.
A very long castle with lots of stairs and an
Exactly.
elevator.
And don't forget the moat with the alligators and all that too.
That's
Right?
right,
Security.
that's right.
We are cybersecurity.
Awesome. All right. So the backstory, Andrew, we're talking about staff augmentation. So what it is? What is it? Why are we talking about this?
Yeah, you know what? It's a great topic, and you know what? The changing landscape of technology, people working from home, organizations needing skill sets they may not have, or they don't necessarily want to hire somebody on a full-time basis. So staff augmentation is all about hiring an expert to bring into your organization for a timely fashion that typically saves you money, brings in expertise, doesn't change your process or procedures, and gets a job done very, very quickly. And we've been at BeWire Technology blessed to have
Yes.
a multitude of projects that we worked on. And we've actually been hired on an individual basis as far as staff augmentation to go to some really exciting projects in Canada and in the US. And
Yes.
so, you know what? As a tech show, we just thought we would bring this to the forefront because it's a very, very important and a very great service for a lot of organizations.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Gladstone.
Gladstone, yeah,
Let's check out
Gladstone.
the lines.
All right, let's see what we got here. Okay, we got a lot of love. Diego's my boy. We know
Top
him.
fan.
Yeah,
Top fan.
We know. Yeah, he's our plant. He's our marketing manager. So thank you, Diego, for the hello.
Yeah.
We love you,
By
buddy.
the way, Diego's actually a really talented musician. Diego, maybe you just send me some of your music. You have it online, and we could promote you.
Nice.
But thanks for the love, Diego. Who else we got here? Kevin Pham. What's up, Kevin? Thanks.
Kevin
for joining
Pham,
us.
my man.
Kevin
Hey,
Pham.
Kevin.
IT superstar.
Yes, sir.
Oh, guys.
And we have Gabriela Julio. She says, hello, guys. Hello, Gabriela. Nice to see you. And of course, we have this strange individual that keeps stalking us. I don't know who this is. Dan, perhaps you know. Tamara Almeida Johnson. She says, hi, guys. So happy to catch another show.
Hey, Tamara.
When she was in primary school, people used to call her Tamara Tomato. And she's probably looking at me right now and going like,
shaking her head.
Mother trucker.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill you.
You know what? She's an absolute sweetheart. And Tamara, we love you on our show every single week. Thanks for the support.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Tamara. All right. We got Boris Hernandez. Hey, Boris. Nice to see you, buddy.
Hello, stalkers.
Hey, Boris.
I'm just looking over here on the side here where you guys, the audience, can't see,
Eduardo.
but Tamara's laughing at us.
Eduardo says hi. What's up, Eduardo? Nice for you to join us. We got my good friend Alexis Ramirez. What's up, Alexis? And
hey, Alexis.
Of course, Aura Rosanna says hello, and hello to you too.
I think we got a new name up there too. Elizabeth is on there as well.
Did I miss her? Okay, I'll get to her.
Youngman Kai.
Kai, good afternoon, sir. And then, of course, Tamara's a little miffed about the stalker comment.
Stalker.
With love. With love.
All right.
And Felix says hi as well. Where's Elizabeth?
It's
Sorry,
all
guys.
good. She's saying looking forward to the show. Hi, guys. So nice to have you, Elizabeth.
We love
it, guys.
Perfect.
I'm excited about this topic because it's really, really important. And it's a service that a lot of businesses, if they don't know it exists, they're going to start knowing it exists. And it's such a valuable service that it's, I'm really excited to talk about it, actually.
All right. So let's dive into it, right? So 10 pro tips we want to share with you because we love you. And remember, we have a big reveal at the very end. So stay tuned. Okay. Gladstone, number one.
Number one, goals and objectives. Actually, first of all, Dan, before we get into that, I have a question for you. Being a knower of all things, this is not necessarily my question, but for people, for people out there that might not know, what the heck is staff augmentation?
I know you asked me the same question on the pre-show, and then you're asking it again.
Never,
Come on.
Never.
No, that's actually a very good question for people that don't know. Staff augmentation is when you have a project, and usually a software project, web development, and an application that is not really you don't want to hire somebody full-time. You just want to hire expertise for that particular project in a short-term basis, right? So that's basically staff augmentation.
Well, and what's really important to that, and let me just add to that, Dan, is every company, almost every company, their projects are either built on different platforms, different age of technology. So by hiring one individual and bringing him onto your staff, it could be an absolute nightmare to either choose the right person, keep them ongoing, etc. When you hire a staff augmented individual, they come into your network, you're hiring the ideal person for that short period of time. So if it's a certain type of technology, a certain time frame, you can cherry pick that resource, which typically it's very hard to do when you're hiring somebody on a full-time basis. It's going to be a part of your network ongoing. So it's a very valuable tool. To Dan's point, and that's basically what it is.
Yeah, and there's a difference, right? So, and I think I have it as one of the pro tips. Know the difference, and then I'll talk about what's offshoring, what is staff, or like a HR staffing, and what is staff augmentation, because they're all different things, right? Freelancing. So I'll make a distinction of what's what and when you need staff augmentation in your team, right? So
Awesome.
perfect. So
All
number
right.
one.
Number one, goals and objectives. Take it away, Dan.
Yes. So goals and objectives. What is your business vision, right? What do you want to do for the long term? So if you need somebody that's very skillful at what they do, whether it is a project manager like Gladstone or a software developer, but you need that person all over the long term. So let's say 2, 3, 4 years. Obviously, you're going to be looking into Indeed, Workopolis, Monster, and hiring, or even a headhunter and hiring that person, right? Because he's going to, or she is going to stay in your company for a while. So you want to have the ability to have somebody full time in your staff. However, if you need somebody that's specialized, right, and you have a project that is 3 months or even a year long, and then you need somebody for that project, you might not necessarily want to hire a full-time staff. You might actually get a freelancer, a contractor, or do staff augmentation. So it really depends on your short-term or long-term goals and what you want to do as part of your business vision, basically.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, we're good.
We're
I
all
think
good.
so. I
Short-
think that's pretty
short
clear.
and sweet.
Sweet. I like it.
Yeah.
All right.
What's number 2?
Number 2, know the difference.
Yes, and this is what I was wanted to talk about, right? So, what is offshoring? What is staff augmentation? What is freelancing? So,
Yeah.
freelancing. Let's start with the easiest. Freelancing. Freelancing is you are hiring an individual that has his own, little company, right? And he just freelances for you. So either he has many clients and he can do it.
They freelance for you. So let me just be politically correct here. They may freelance for you.
Yeah, he or she, or
or
let's not get into
let's
that.
not
but-
get
Exactly. Not just saying. Just saying.
yeah, so that's freelancing, right? So and you can get freelancers from different places like freelancer.com or Fiverr.com, etc. But sometimes you're really gambling. It's cheaper, but it might not be efficient when you have a more complex setup for your project, for your software, etc. It might not be the right solution for you. Then there is offshoring. So offshoring is usually in the technology sector is hiring somebody from abroad or a company from abroad, right? So let's say India. India is a very big technology offshoring resource because they speak English, right? So in they have a very big technology industry in there. However, that's also a problem. You get into legal problems, right? So if they have to sign an NDA, you're signing an NDA with a company that is outside of Canada or the States, and it's a different jurisdiction, right? So they can break the NDA and release your code somewhere else and copy you. So you're running into a few issues in terms of the legality and stuff, right? That you don't want to get into, right?
Time's huge too.
Time. Yeah, absolutely. Time. I mean, they're on the other side of the world. So when can you communicate or those people with your team, right? So if you need to be in Slack or some sort of instant messaging tool, it's almost impossible, right?
Yeah.
Right. Question, Dan. So offshoring and outsourcing, are they interchangeable, or is there a distinguished difference between the two? Like,
outsourcing is the general term, right?
Okay.
So staff augmentation is part of outsourcing. It's an outsourcing strategy. Offshoring is an outsourcing strategy. Freelancing is an outsourcing.
Yeah, it's all
strategy.
a similar service. It's just knowing the difference and understanding the difference. And again, a lot of it's time based, a lot of it's legality based. Exactly.
So I would imagine another thing you have to deal with is maybe the infrastructure, right? Because from my own experience, I've worked with people abroad, and sometimes their internet connection might go down or their power. So these are the kind of things you have to deal with when you're working with people outside of the country. Not to mention just their own personal devices, right? They might not have the same level of equipment that you have in your business here in Canada right? So
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
And you know what? It's funny you say that, because that's what we encounter with our staff in terms of equipment. For example, we had a client who needed Staff Augmentation, and they had a database that was like really big, right? So MS SQL Server, right? And they needed to have a powerful machine to be able to run that database. So as soon as we found that out, then we had to replace the equipment to be able to go
handle.
along with the requirements from the client, right? So
Right.
that's super important. Gladstone, do we have any questions? We open the forum for anybody that wants to ask anything to our experts here. Go ahead.
No questions right now. I do want to show some special love to Elizabeth, though she did say hi, so I want to give her her shine. Hello, Elizabeth. I see you.
There you go.
But please, guys, we love the engagement, so keep the questions coming. But for
Yes.
now, we'll move on to the next tip, which
Absolutely.
is
So if you have any questions, don't be afraid. Send us your shout outs, send us your questions, your comments, and we'll address them as we go along.
certainly. All right, number three, pardon me. Beware of the contract.
Yeah, and what I mean by that is usually HR companies or offshoring companies, and they try to get you into long-term contracts for somebody with no clauses to if that person doesn't work, for example, doesn't work out, then you need to address that situation, and then you're locked in. So basically, that's why I'm saying be aware of the contract, right? So make sure it's for the term that you need it, and you have some kind of exit clauses in the contract. So
Exactly.
what do you think about this, Andrew?
Yeah, no, I think it's a great point, because I mean, contracts obviously, are binding, but a contract needs to be a win-win, right? So you would need to, as the person looking to hire somebody, you need to have the options to either bring somebody in and then bring them out again because they're not working, because either they're not the right skill set, they don't have the right talent, maybe the culture isn't there, because culture is king when you're working and you're coming in as a cold person. You may be knowledgeable, but you just may be an ass to work with. So the client has the ability to sub that person out. And so contracts are critical, and I think it's really important to protect not only the person doing the augmented, staffing, but also for the client, and equally as important for the client. So it's got to be a win-win, and so have options when you're signing your contract.
Absolutely.
So when you say culture, Andrew, what exactly do you mean by that?
Hey,
Yeah.
hang on. We have a point on that. We have a point on the culture.
Oh.
So
Sorry.
you can mention something, and then let's.
All right.
Yeah, you know what? I'll mention, then we'll dive into it deeper when it comes.
Absolutely.
Is culture is probably, without doubt, probably one of the most important things in advancing a business and the strength of a company. And I'll begin and leave it there, and we'll talk it a little deeper as it comes.
Yeah. And Gladstone, not to cut you off, man, because and you hit it right on the nail, because culture is probably one of the most important tips or parts of the whole process, right? So that's why it's on its own. It's a point in our pro tips. Absolutely.
Yes, sir. All right.
All right.
Number 4, say no to offshoring.
Yeah, and this one is kind of
it's kind of a gray area there. It's an understanding. Go ahead. You know what, Dan? You seem passionate about it, so you go yours, and I'll.
I don't like offshoring. I'm sorry. Okay, so so in our company, BYR Technologies, we have over a decade of experience. Okay, so 12 years to be exact, and we've been there. We've done that. So from my own experience, every time we do offshoring, hiring a company abroad, whether it is in India or in Latin America, or it has not worked for us. So this is it is a gray area. Maybe some people love offshoring, but in our case, it has been a disaster. So that's why I'm like, don't offshore. Well, so maybe this one is a little bit biased on my part, but
that's the whole thing. Because I think every factor, depending as a company, what their requirements are and what you're doing. Offshoring can also, an organization can be in Canada or the United States and have team members that have footprints all over the world, right? But you're still being represented by a local business, responsible by local laws.
Yeah, but that's not offshoring. Offshoring is usually hiring a company straight from the source.
And that's exactly what I'm getting at. That is exactly the misunderstanding of offshoring.
Let me slap myself.
hiring somebody, that organizations that have multiple people doing different things, the responsibility still falls with where the company lies and by the rules and regulations.
Yes.
So offshoring, just understand it really is where I'm coming from, understanding the difference between hiring a company offshore or hiring an organization that has people that basically are doing the work for you, remotely. Because the laws still fall under the category of the organization where it's
Yeah.
housed. That's all. I just
It-
wanted clarity on that. Because again, some people,
absolutely, and the other thing you got to think about this is, like I'm the CTO, right? And we have proprietary code. We have an application in-house application. We've done quite a bit of work. It's taken us forever, basically, to be able to build this software. Did you think I'm just going to go and give that source code to anybody abroad? It's just like if you really want to safeguard your IP,
be careful. Sure.
then you got to be careful with offshoring, right?
Yeah.
The company that you're dealing with has to have a presence in Canada or in the States, so they can abide by the legalities of this
Absolutely.
beautiful country, right? So that's the main key, like protecting your intellectual property,
Properties.
your IP. All right. Any questions? Any comments? Any love?
No questions.
I think everybody's just enthralled with this
I
step
know.
1, step 2, step 3. We're answering all the questions as we go, but guys,
Wow.
don't be scared to ask some questions. If you're an organization out there and you're questioning it or wondering why I should do it, don't hesitate. We'd be happy to answer.
Yeah, we got a tough crowd
I know.
today. Yeah, no
Everybody's
questions.
quiet.
Usually it's
Everybody's
like
sitting on their
bombarded
hands.
by questions, but today everybody's like, maybe it's the weather, maybe it's a
Maybe.
short week. We were
There you
off
go.
on Monday. All right, next one.
All right, number 5. Credentials and expertise.
You know what?
Yes.
I'm gonna jump in there for a second, Dan, because
Go
I
on
think this is so important. Choosing an organization that has, as Dan was alluding to earlier, I mean, technology, there is a shortage in experienced individuals. So first and foremost, and some people, may think they're experts or have some sort of expertise, but it's such a huge industry, and there's so many different skill sets. And I think hiring an organization, hiring the right person, hiring the right company that has the credentials, the experience, the ability to, like as I mentioned earlier, pull somebody out and put somebody new in if you need to on a dime if had be, because it is such a process. And so I think making sure you choose the right company that can offer the right team, the right individuals, the right person who's going to fit with your culture, back to that again, I think is critical. And that only comes with experience and amazing credentials. Dan, I know you're going to want to jump in there too, because you're all about credentials. But I just wanted to really emphasize that as well, because to me, that's so important.
Yeah, certifications, for example. So if you look at an HR company or a headhunter, that person or that company is actually sending out job applications, interviewing people, and then passing those people to the client, right? So that's what they do. It's kind of like this type of from A to Z, but you don't have experience with that person. You might get somebody that does not have the skill set, or somebody that's not lying, or maybe the company is not doing their due diligence and finding out that they're not who they say they are, right? Credentials and expertise is very important. We are a software company, we are a technology company, and everybody that we pass along to our clients in terms of Staff Augmentation has worked for us in diverse projects and has been with us for at least a year or 2 years, so we know who they are, right? So it's not like that you're hiring just an HR company. It's an actual company that the core of the business of the company is technology and building software. So you are completely 100% confident that what you're hiring is good quality.
Yeah, and I mean, and to that point, we're not putting down any HR company, because there's a lot out there that do incredible services and offer incredible results. There's no question. It's just understanding. This is all about education and deciding what you're going to do moving forward with your decision. If you're going to do this type of service, whether you're a government agency or a large corporation or even a mid-sized company that wants to basically save costs, these are just tools for you to think about, understand, and then make an educated decision. So any HR company out there, trust me, we're not saying anything negative. You guys are fantastic. If you are, congratulations. just this is for our audience to be educated and informed in the decisions what they should be looking at when making a decision.
Yeah, and I think we're answering one question that we have on the board. Maybe Gladstone, if you can just put that through.
Yeah. So Tamara asked, how does one go about finding a company offering reliable staff augmentation?
Yes,
Great question.
Yeah, so I mean I think that's the next point, right? So can you put the next point on the screen so we can take a look at it?
For sure. So number 6, check for references.
There you go.
Look at
that
that.
answers your question. Yeah,
it's almost like it was organized somewhere in the back end, but that wouldn't happen because we're organic.
But it was organic. But you know what?
Yeah.
It's funny. You know, like fortunately for search engines like Google, that small little company, you can certainly find organizations and companies that do staff augmentation or HR resources and things like that. But again, back to being educated. I think checking references, having the history, having the expertise, the skill set, and being able to pick up a phone and call a reference or a client of somebody you've done work with is critical, because you can have, and I'm sorry, I've done this, I can't even countless times. There's professional interviewers that, oh my goodness, they look so amazing on paper. They can communicate their message so perfectly, but then when push comes to shove, when they're actually doing the work or they're there interacting with your team or whatever, there is some underlying
lip
questions.
Service.
And oh my goodness, it's unbelievable. And I'm not saying everybody's like that. I'm just saying I've encountered professional interviewers that are the best thing since sliced bread, and then they turn out not to work out. So just be educated, be informed, and definitely check references. It's very important.
For sure.
Yeah, and as a technology company, you can check references with us, right? Like, so for example, if this person, John Doe, we're going to put or assign him to your project, you can check our references because John Doe has worked with this company, and this company in their projects. So you're free to call them, right? So checking references is so important, right?
Absolutely.
And I hope that answers Tamara's question.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it did. And she says thank you.
Beautiful.
You're welcome.
What number are we on, Gladstone?
We are moving on to number 7. We just did number 6, check for references. So number 7, ramping up and learning curve.
Yes. So what I meant by this is basically ramping up. So you need somebody. How fast are you going to be able to get somebody to work for you that has the necessary skill set, right? And as Andrew was alluding to, it's really hard to get the right stuff when it comes to software development, for example, or project management, because there's a shortage out there. So it's going to take you a few months, right, to be able to hire somebody. So, and that's the key. At BeWire, what we do is we can pull somebody from one of our current projects, right, that we have in-house, replace that person, and then have this person available for you in a very short time. So that's basically what the ramping up section is. And then the learning curve is learning your business, your software, your project. It also takes time, right? So it's not just a matter of, okay, here we have somebody, now get to work. No, you have to learn your service, your products, your software, and then get going, right? So that's basically what it is.
And you know what, Dan, to that point, I think it's really important that, someone, again, making that decision. So us at BeWired, when we enter into agreements like this, we always have a senior person. A lot of times it could be Dan as our CTO. He will actually sit in the first few meetings, and then he'll meet with our team on a regular basis to understand the process, understand what's going on. So therefore, there's no lost time. If at any time there's a culture shift or there's technology concern and we have to pull somebody out and put somebody new in, that shouldn't fall on the client's shoulders. It should fall on the responsibility of the HR company, if that's the case, or the augmented company that's being hired.
Yes.
And so you need to make sure that learning curve is absorbed by that company, from not just the person you're hiring, but maybe from somebody else, so they can tap into those resources. So there's backup there, etc. So it's strengthening that partnership and making sure that if there is ever an issue, that the transition to fix that issue is very quick and seamless.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, all right, all right. So, do we have anything from our chats today? So, any other comments, any other questions? People, don't be afraid to just post their questions. Maybe this is a topic that it's not the most fascinating topic. I understand that, but it's
But it's
very important.
valuable. It's very important, very valuable to organizations. It really is, and especially with cybersecurity and technology both go hand in hand. And there's an incredible shortage in cybersecurity technology and
Yes.
skill set, and very much a shortage in technology and different skill sets as well. So being able to have the understanding of what this is gives you that ability to tap into those resources if need be without having to hire somebody or find that ideal person, which is very,
Yeah.
very difficult.
And let's talk about the other side of the coin, right? So how expensive it is to hire somebody, I mean, somebody full time, and all the legalities in terms of like taxes that you have to pay and all of that, and perhaps a
Healthcare.
company doesn't need to have somebody on staff for a long term contract, right?
Yeah, and I think that's a great point, Dan, because I think any organization that's hiring out their staff is doing it on a market comparison rate. So if they were about to hire that skill set of an individual, they're going to pay for that they're going to pay top dollar for those individuals. But not only do they incur the cost of that, they incur the full-time employee, the government fees, the government costs, the taxes, everything that goes hand in hand with that. And if they don't work out, then it's just you start the whole process over again. I think when you hire an organization, it's very comparison without all of the extras that go with it. And the nice thing about it is the responsibility falls onto the company that they're hiring. So they can just basically walk away if after 3 months or after 2 months. Where if you
Yeah.
have somebody full time, unless it's contracted, it's very difficult to walk away.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And go
Sorry.
ahead.
No, I was just going to say that you could actually use this short-term contract as kind of an interview process, right? Or uh, what's the word I'm looking for?
Probationary.
A probationer period. Thank you, Dan. And that actually is better than just having, like a half an hour meeting where somebody could just tell you everything you want to hear,
Oh
right?
yeah.
But if you're working with
Absolutely.
that person for 3 to 4 months, you get a sense of who they are. So now, if you want to hire them long term, you already have done the job, and it's just a
Well, let's
seamless
just let's
process,
just speak.
right?
I'm going to stop you there, Gladstone. So,
Oh, here
so
we
it's
go.
it's not a hiring process by hiring an augmented company. So what
No.
happens is there's contracts that are in place to protect both parties, because that's exactly what can happen. An organization can fall in love with a staff member and want to keep them long term because they did work with them for 2 or 3 months, but the
Yeah.
augmented company needs to protect their staff as well. So there is usually there's contracts that are in place, and there's not. There should be. If you're not doing this, you should be companies out there
Yes.
Yes.
protect your employees.
Wow.
And that's so important. And they because you don't want companies to come in and headhunt your person that's helped them, and vice versa. You don't want to take their code and everything else. This is an ethical partnership, right? And
Yeah.
and so it's you can be understanding the skills that you're looking for by doing this, but you're not going to be hiring that individual, obviously. So
Yes.
I just want to make sure that's clear out there. So I
Yeah. I
understand what you're
mean,
saying.
the contract it's basically you gotta put it down on paper, right? So that what you're talking about is poaching, right? So
Exactly.
like it could happen, right? And it goes both ways. So as a company or the vendor, we are agreeing that we're going to provide somebody who has the expertise, who is very responsive, who has experience and can build your software in a manner that it will be amazing for your project. That's what we're guaranteeing. From your side as the client, of course, you have to guarantee that you're going to provide a safe place for this person. And not only that, but at the end of the contract, you're not going to go and say, "Hey, you want to work with us? We're going to give you more money." And so it goes both ways. We both have to take care of our legalities, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. It's a partnership and an ethical one, and it's about a win-win scenario.
Yes, and the duration of the staff augmentation project could actually be a year or 2 years, right?
Absolutely.
So
Mhm.
you can always like redo contracts, of
Yeah.
course. All right, what's next?
Number 8.
Man, we're going really fast in this question. It's crazy. Yeah, yeah. I wanted to mention something, but I don't know if it's a good idea. I wanted
Go
to
right
mention
ahead.
how we've had some nightmares in hiring people, and sometimes staff augmentation is better than hiring people, because as you, Andrew, maybe you can talk about this in our past, how has like we've hired people that didn't work out, and it's just, it was a
Well,
mess.
and that's, well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'll just very surface, and most organizations, I'm sure, some time or another have gone through this. But again, back to where I was saying, professional interviewers, they say all the right things, they come across incredible, you feel they're going to fit, and they just don't. And that's, you know what, you can't always foresee that.
Yes.
But it's one of those things that's. It's one of those things that's, we can't shy away from. We have to, enter into these agreements and hiring people with open eyes, and not everybody's going to work out. But I think that's about building your business, and you're going to have those, those ebbs and flows and success stories and failures. But that's growing as a business. I think when it comes to augmented hiring, it's more project based.
Yes.
And specific requirements and skill sets. So you don't have to have that long-term investment to hire somebody and all those concerns that go with it. It's more of a shorter term. It could be, as Dan said, up to a year, sometimes even longer, but typically it's usually 3 to 6 month engagements. And then usually if they go over really well, the clients come back and do it again and again. But that's the difference. So yeah, we've had some nightmares, but you know what? They haven't been nightmares because we've learned from them. And you grow from them as a company. And in all fairness, the people were probably fantastic individuals, just not the right fit for our organization. And that happens.
Yeah, and actually, we're going to talk about culture in as one of the points, or as well, right? So, any questions on there?
We do have a question from Tamara. So she asked, "How integrated are the augmenting staff into clients' operations?"
Yeah.
Oh, great question, actually.
That's a really good question. Like this. Right?
Yeah.
It's so important.
So important.
Yes. Yeah. So, and we have a point on that as well. So,
and to that point, Tamara, it's literally an extension of your team. Like that's where the culture, talking to the culture, it literally is like this. That we need to make, as a company that does that, or an organization, that you need to make it seamless, and they need to be ingrained immediately into their workflow, their processes. And that's what's nice also. You're not coming in instilling your workflow, your work ethic, yes, but your policies, procedures. You're hiring an organization, an individual is coming in that's going to adapt to your policies and procedures and your culture, not the other way
your
around.
Systems.
Yeah, exactly. That's really, really important, but it's a great question. Great question, Tamara.
Absolutely.
All right. What's next?
Number 8. Go for quality always.
Yes. All right. So if you want to go to a staff agency or HR agency and get whatever you can get that is more cost effective for you, and you're gonna get what you pay for, basically, right? So and that's the key. Unfortunately, in terms of software development, especially, you always strive to get the best quality person or the best expertise in-house, because that's going to minimize the amount of bugs that your software is going to have. It's going to be a faster project. Time is money, right? So if you go over your deadlines, you're losing money. So right off the bat, you want to have the best in-house, right, at all times. So quality is so important.
So important. I agree, because I mean, you know what, you shouldn't be looking. Dollars and cents shouldn't be the deciding factor when doing this. There's always a low end, there's a medium end, and there's a high end services out there. What you want to do is look for that quality, because what's going to happen is by hiring the right quality person, it could be a little higher, per hour, let's say, or what have you, but they could maybe do it in 2 months versus 3 months. Or when it's done, you're not doing all these QAs and all this extra stuff has to be fixed. And then more time is being spent, to Dan's point. So, just, quality is everything. So it's not dollars and cents, quality, because quality speeds up the process, typically, not always, but typically, because you're hiring an expert. And then
I would say it always.
I would say 99% for sure.
Yeah.
There's no question. And then at the end, like I said, the QA portion.
Maybe we can ask Gladstone that question. I mean, he's the senior project manager. Does quality accelerate the time to market?
Absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why we have a quality assurance process, right? Just for that very reason. If you want to not be on time with your projects, then you can be wishy-washy if you want. But absolutely, quality always is important.
Great point. Number 8. I like it.
All right. Okay. Woo. Man, number 9.
Number 9, company values alignment. Ooh.
And now we're going to talk about the values.
Culture and exactly. Yeah. Do you want me to go, Dan, or do you want to
Yeah,
go?
go ahead. Come on.
You know what? I can't emphasize this enough. This is me. This is the kind of person I am. Company culture to me is critical. So and values and common goals and working together and collaboration and communication. Nothing can be accomplished better, more efficiently, with more success than if you have all those. So core values for the end, for the vision, collaboration, communication is critical, and then culture. And what I mean by culture is synergies of everyone enjoying working together for a common goal in mind.
Yes.
And it's not about me or you, or that's not my job. This isn't my job. It's like, listen, I can help you with this, or let's do this and let's do this together. Oh, you think that's a great area? You know what? In my past experience, I did this, and this may speed up the process and have better results. Communication, sharing each other's experiences, coming together and having a common goal is critical to success of any project, whether it's your internal team, you're bringing somebody in, what have you. That is, to me, that's the number one thing in business.
Yes. And we can give you some examples from our company in terms of expectations. So I can ask Glaston, what is the first thing that we do at 8:30 in the morning?
8:30 in the morning, we have our company team meeting, and that's when we go over the day's agenda, what happened the previous day, if there's any fires or anything we need to address right away, and that's done. It's also
Yeah.
it's our routine. It builds camaraderie. We often
Yeah.
have new people coming on board, so it's an opportunity for them to see all the different individuals on our staff. We tell jokes as well, so it's not just all
The
business.
music.
We play.
We
I'm
do
I'm
play-
also a
we-
DJ.
we
Although
can.
somebody took a shot at my playlist today, I didn't appreciate that. I won't say any names, Diego. But
Diego.
no, we have fun, right?
Yeah.
The culture
And then-
is huge. Yes.
And after that, what is the next thing that we have?
The next thing that we have.
Yeah, the technical.
Oh yes, of course, technical review. So yes, we have fun, but then we have to get down to business. So the current projects that we have, we meet as a team and we get an assessment of where we are. If there's any issues or anything we need to troubleshoot, if one of our developers is having difficulty or they've come across a bug, then we collaborate together, and that's part of our culture, right?
Yeah.
Everyone gets a project that they're assigned to, but we're always there. I like to think of us as the Avengers. So when something goes down, we
Oh,
all come
love it.
together and we assist each other. So I love working here. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
And then 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock, we 12 o'clock, we also have a midday status update. It's very quick. It's not a long essay that you have to write, just point form what you've been working on throughout the day. And that keeps everyone, including the individual, up to date on what they've been doing, right? So there's a lot of organization. It's cultural building, and it also helps with collaboration. So if somebody's working on a project and they're stuck, they might say, hey, I've been working on this, but I ran into a bug. And everyone in the company sees that. So
Yes.
somebody that has expertise in that area might say, hey, I know the answer. I know how to fix that. So
Yeah.
it's amazing. And it's a great culture we have. It's very collaborative.
Well,
And sorry, go ahead, Andrew.
No, I didn't want to cut you off. I apologize. One of the big things we always allude to in our business is, what, we never want anybody in our company to be overwhelmed.
Yep.
We want everybody to be business.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with being busy. Being busy is wonderful, actually. But if anybody's overwhelmed, they need to reach out and ask for help, or we identify it because of those Slack channels, because of those communications, because of that meeting. We want our team to have fun, but work hard. And like I try to say, but our team says it is, never be overwhelmed.
Yes.
Be busy, and if you're overwhelmed, ask for help. And that's really important, I think.
Yeah, and you know what, communication. You said communication is very important, but I'm going to emphasize this because there's a non-written rule in our company, right? So this is not something that you have to do, but we expect you to be working, right? So, and we use Slack, right, for our instant communication. And if we send a Slack message to somebody, right, we expect a response from that person very quickly. So 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Don't make it go over 10 minutes, because then we're going to be like, oh, what is this guy doing? Right. So, or we need to address certain questions very fast. So in our team, I love our team. We're very responsive. So sometimes we post channel messages at night, like because we have to be 24/7 as part of Rhyno cybersecurity. So 9 o'clock, a client has an issue, we can post it in there, and somebody's going to be answering. And that's what makes the culture so rich. And if you're planning on doing staff augmentation, that is the type of quality you will get from BeWire, right?
Awesome. So I do have a comment here.
I like the comment. I was reading.
So regarding Avengers, awesome, Tamara says. So who of you three is Iron Man, Thor, and Hulk?
I'll be the Hulk.
I guess Andrew's the Hulk. Dan?
I'll be Thor.
Thor?
Yeah.
And me, go ahead.
I'm a Viking.
And I would be Black Panther. Why not?
There you go.
Black Panther.
Iron Man. Okay.
I have a figurine somewhere, but
I think personally Dan should be Iron Man because he's Mr. Technical.
Yes,
and you know what, Dan? There's not anybody I know more technical than Dan. So I can see his little glowing heart there with all the technology he has.
Sure, absolutely.
And,
all right.
I can be Thor with the the flowing hair. I don't want to be the fat Thor in the last Avengers or whatever it was, but I'll be the
maybe
the
like
good-looking
10
Thor.
years ago you could We do have a question, guys. It's a little long-winded, but I'll power through it. So
Okay, sure.
Boris Hernandez says, what would be the main difference between outsourcing and staffing? Are freelance contracted or companies that have personnel with the required profile for the project? Okay, that's a two-part question there. So what's the main difference? I think we spoke about the difference
between
already.
Outsourcing and staffing. Yeah. I mean, hopefully we answered that question, Boris. But yeah, so the outsourcing basically is hiring for it.
Yeah, no, I just want to I want to make it very clear. So outsourcing is a general term, right? It's a general term. Staffing is what HR companies do for skills. They hire somebody, they get somebody, and they put it in a company. So for example, I have a factory and I have machines, and I need staff to work on the machines. I can outsource a staffing company to provide me with the stuff that I need, right? So staffing is a more of a specific word that happens inside of the HR industry when it comes to HR staffing, right? Outsourcing is just a general term.
Right.
Yes, sir.
I hope that answers the question.
I think you answered excellently, Dan.
And I think I'm going to be Iron Man.
That's what I saw that. I saw Tamara was all happy. You're Iron Man. I like that.
Yeah, just Tamara's agreeing. All right. So number 10 and the last one.
10. Hire BeWired.
There you go. I like that one. That's my favorite.
Yes, that's very profound.
I have a train passing by, guys, so I apologize if I'm shaking like this, and you
well,
guys hear it.
But Dan, it seems to happen every time.
I know. We gotta move the show to a different time, man.
it's the 12:45 train.
There you go.
Yes. So hire BeWire, and this is our unveiling. So drum roll there. Andrew, do you want to talk about what we're doing?
Yeah, so these shows are never, ever meant to be for sales. This is all informative for our clients. So hopefully you've got a lot from this show. But we've been very blessed to have been hired by some very large organizations and mid-sized organizations for staff augmentation, or Staff Aug as the abbreviation. And we've had incredible successes, and we've had repeat business from it. And it's always been a secondary thought for us because we do build technology for partners. We're Rhyno cybersecurity, so we're all about security and advancing that division and growing and building success there and making sure our clients are protected. But the successes we've had because of our depth of experience and our staff and the businesses we've actually affiliated ourselves with, worked with over the years, has given us a depth that we can draw from for this type of service. So we're very proud and we're
Yes.
very honored that the successes we've had in the past, and we have references for anybody out there who's interested in hiring Be Wired, or you know what, if you don't hire us, hire somebody else. It's a fantastic service. But we do have references that you could tap into. We do have the history. We have the staffing,
Yeah.
and the, like I said, and to Dan's earlier, the expertise. And we would love to work with your organization. We would love to formulate and add to your culture and help you be successful in the projects that you have out there. So
Yeah. So the difference is that we have experience on this, right? So we worked we've done engagements in the past 2 years
Yeah.
with companies where they're like, we don't want build a project with you, but we need one person or two people, and we're like, you know what? Let's do this. Okay. So we have those engagements, and then out of those, the results have been amazing, freaking amazing. We're like, wow, this has been such a good client, very
Great
good
experience.
engagements, very good experience, very good results. Until at one point we were like, you know what? This makes sense. I mean, we're a technology company. We're doing staff augmentation. It's not, we don't advertise it, but it's part of our who we are. Why don't we just turn this around and then create our staff augmentation services, right? And that's the big embedding right now.
Exactly. And again, not you know what, we never want to use this platform as a sales tool, guys, but it is exciting for us to launch this service, and we're very, very proud of it. And
Yes.
so we just wanted to bring it to your attention. And if you use us, wonderful. If you reach out to us and ask about it, wonderful. If you don't, you're informed. You have another place where you can call and reach out to if you do need it. But yeah, we're extremely honored to the partners we have had, to the partners we have in this space. And again, we just realized and identified that the infrastructure that we've built over the last so many years has given us the ability to be successful in this space.
Yes, and I think we have a really good question that somebody's posted. Maybe you can
Beautiful.
put that in there.
Yes. So Boris has another question. He says, how can the commitment and dedication of the new staff be managed effectively, taking into account that they are temporary employees?
Nice, good, amazing question.
Oh, this is a great question, man.
Absolutely.
And we thought about that, right? So we've thought about that, and we created a process for that, right? So every day we have you have 40 hours a week that you work with the clients, right? That person needs to work, but we don't do 40 hours a week. We do a little less, so we can manage those people, right? So we can actually, they still have access to our staff meeting in the morning, and then we have private meetings with those people or the team that is working for the client, so they can give us status reports, right, on what's going on. And not only that, but we also manage expectations with our clients, right? So we have every Friday we have a meeting with their clients to see where we are at, to do a little bit of alignment between the employee and the company, and so on. So I think that answers. I hope that answers your question.
I think it's great, and I think it comes down to also expectations at the very beginning, Boris. When you're formulating that partnership, to Dan's point, you implement systems and rules and regulations from the get-go, and you follow that process. And so Dan and I are always privy to what's happening, as for example in our organization with our team, from our team's perspective, then from Dan and my perspective, and then ideally from the client's perspective. And if they all align, things are running seamlessly. If there's a hiccup somewhere, we course adjust and fix to make sure everybody's happy. And so that's where the culture, the fit, the communication all come into play. So great question. And it's certainly something to take into consideration when you're entering into a partnership.
Exactly. It's not about set it and forget it.
No,
right?
No.
We can't have that, because you never know what's going to happen. So we need to have those touch points with our staff that's working for other companies, not making them feel like we just forgot about them. They're still part of our company, if you think about it.
Very much.
And then we need to have the conversations with the client to make sure that our staff it's producing, and they're committed to their work, and
they're happy.
They're happy, and so it's all part of our HR process, right? So yeah, we thought about that. That's great. Very good question.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Okay. I think we're done.
I want to get back to these Avengers. I like the idea of being like Thor or Hulk or something. No, I'm just joking. I think we're done too.
Yeah, we know we're actually running out of time, but we can talk about next week. I think it's going to be a very, very good week, very good show for us. And actually, at the very end of this month, we're going to have a special. It's going to be our Halloween special.
Absolutely.
So,
I was going to say something actually.
So we're gonna be all dressed up, and it's gonna be a spooky type of like a podcast. So it's gonna be great.
Okay,
but next week,
Dan, wait a second. Before next week, in regards to the Halloween special, I'm throwing this out there. This is kind of behind Dan. We're gonna have a contest. So whoever our guest is that day, I think, is it actually Gladstone that's gonna be there? I think Gladstone's gonna be on that show.
First of his name. Warden of Be Wired.
That's right, exactly. So Gladstone it'll be an internal show again, but we're gonna have a contest, so all our viewers can vote who has the best costume. So I'm looking forward to
the best
that.
costume.
So, yeah,
I
think
man, the stakes are up, man. The stakes are up. I'm gonna have to talk to my wife to see if she can help me out with my costume.
No cheating. You got to do yourself, Dan. No cheating.
All right, thanks everybody. It's been such a wonderful week. And next show we're going to be talking about cybersecurity. You know why? Because it's cybersecurity awareness month, right? And in the third week, it's all about working and networking and working from home. So next week's show is going to be about remote work and cybersecurity. So 10 tips to protect your business, to protect your staff when working from home. And we're going to have Andrew Swart, who is our technical sales expert in-house, and yours truly, Dan Duran. So don't miss live LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube next Friday, 12 o'clock. I hope you enjoyed the show, and I'll see you next time.
See you, everybody.
Cheers, guys.
See ya.